So let's install Capsa web stack from scratch on Linux. So you can see if I go to web.demo.capsa.gg or api.demo.capsa.gg, they are pointing to the droplet that I just created. I haven't logged into this. I haven't done anything to it yet. I've also created a managed database cluster, just Postgres without anything. If we open this up, I have a 8 GB memory and 4 vCPU machine running. We need quite a bit of resources to build the binary and build the Next.js app, but we can downscale later when that is done. So let's just log into the server. And we can just follow the guide here. So we need to install a few dependencies. Let's do this and snap install go. And also snap install node. With that done, let's do go version. Okay, that works. Node version. We also have node installed. That's cool. So let's go to the opt directory of the root file system, and we just git clone the project. Let's enter it. Let's see git log one line. We are on the latest version of the main branch, but we want to use a tagged release, preferably. So let's do the latest one. That seems to be v0.1. So if we now run the same command, we can see, okay, head is at the tag release. So now we can first start building the server. So we go into the server directory and we simply make a build. So the build is done. Now we can create a directory for the Capsa server. We can copy the binary we created there. And now we can continue with the web stack. So we go up one directory. We go into web and we simply npm install npm run build and we wait. So the web application is also done building. So we can clone this and yeah, we see the same output. We see the node modules, package.json and the server.js. But now we want to add them to the right directory. So we just run these copy commands. And let's see. Yeah, it looks, well, this will be updated. It's not the same. It also has the public directory here, but this is the correct output. So now we need to set the configuration. So we will run this command and then we go into opt capsa server and we see there's the config file. I will update these. Well, let's delete this. I will update that in a bit. I will update this in a bit as well. We will not use Sentry for this installation. We will need all of these options. So let me set them. All right, so I have set all of the configuration values. Obviously, I'm not showing you the actual values, but this is the base of the config. And one thing I forgot to mention, we also need a blob storage account. So this can be any S3 compatible storage, which you can add in here. There is documentation on all of these configuration settings in here on this page, configuration server config, with also an example that you can refer to. So the next step is to generate the key set for the JSON web keys like this. So what this does, it creates a public and a private key. So we can, well, we can easily just, let's open the pub one, obviously. So this is what is used to sign the JSON Web Tokens. And the public key is also accessible as a JSON Web Key for the web panel to actually verify some things. There's more details on this in the documentation, but we need to run this command to have a key set to use. So the next step is to run the database migrations. We can just run this command, which gives us the database migrated successfully. So that works. Database connection seems to work. Now we need to start running the applications as a service. So it actually, restarts the processes automatically, and after reboot also automatically starts the process. So add a group. We'll add a user. Then we need to set the ownerships correctly, like this. And now we need to now we need to add the actual service descriptions for systemd. So let's open up a new file and add this in here. So, okay. And then we can simply reload the daemon, enable, and start the process. So let's see. Oh, I wanted to get the status, not the start. Okay, it is active, it is enabled. This looks pretty good. So let's curl the localhost, and it gives back the correct version, message okay, code 200. That is great. So now we need to create the systemd configuration for the web service. So let's open up this file. We just copy paste this, and then in here, obviously you would probably want to change this environment variable, the server URL. We are actually using this endpoint, so we don't need to change it, but that is the file to actually run the web service. So we are also going to do the systemctl enable and systemctl start. And now we see that it is running. That's great. So, like a disclaimer, don't open the web app yet. We first need to make sure that everything is available on HTTPS, so everything works. So we need to do that with Nginx. So let's install Nginx. Then we will unlink the default website because we will not be using that. We will create a configuration, a new configuration for capsa specifically. So let's open that up in Vim. And then server name, we can copy paste this. You probably want to change some things in here. We will not be using IPv6. We will be using AD/HTTP2. The server names are set correctly. It looks like the proxies are also set up correctly. So we can save this. And then we link the site to be enabled. And then we restart Nginx. So now we should be able to access it, but only using HTTP. But we want to have HTTPS. We want to enable TLS. So let's install certbot. and we need to do a small linking thing there. Then with certbot, we specify that it is Nginx we want to use, that we are updating, that we want to install certbot on our Nginx servers. So we specify the domain name here, API demo capsa-gg, and also the web one for that. So I actually found an issue, which I will update in the documentation as well. But we want to only listen for port 80, not HTTP 2. So after fixing that, let's run certbot again. So now the certificates are deployed. After that, we can go in here and we want to listen on HTTP 2 for these blocks as well. So we can do a renew dry run just to see, well, let's first actually restart Nginx. Dry run and renewal. That succeeded. So let's curl the API endpoints. Well, that's great. And let's also curl the JSON web keys endpoint. This is used by the web panel to actually verify the JSON web tokens. So we can now also, well, this also seems to work. So after doing this, we can actually start adding users and use the web panel. So let's go into the server directory here. We can run this command, capsa user add. I'm going to add my work email with my first name, my last name, and my role is going to be admin. So I will now receive an email. So this is the email that I received. I have a dark mode browser plugin, so ignore that. But let's just copy this link and I can set a new password here. So I have set my password and now I can just log in and we can see that there is nothing in here yet, but at least it works. The web panel works. That also means that the API server works. Let's check if there's anything else in the guide we need to do. Well, we probably want to add a title and an environment, but I will leave that for the next video. So what we have done now is we have taken an empty Linux machine, which we have set up to run the Capsa web stack with HTTPS enabled there, and we have added our first admin user. There are some more steps before we can actually use it in Unreal Engine. We need to set a title and environment, but I will leave that for the next video. So see you in the next one.